Are we live yet? I said, are we live? We are live.
Oh yeah, Rodero, the one man show. I'm back with another track. Spitting out the truth. Can you feel lion? I said, can you feel bad? Oh yeah. Nice another. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love, because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I let myself back into a life of sin. Can you forgive me again? I'm only flesh, but deep down I have a zest. I keep failing the devil's test. Does this mean I'm not ready? My heart is heavy. I'm stuck in a state of confusion. I'm doing wrong. It's like a nightmare, but it's no illusion. My God, what's the solution? Is the pleasure of this world enough to make my face unfurl and pass? I try to stay on the right path, but it never lasts. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I feel like a marked man. I know you understand. Is this agony a part of your plan? Or am I just weak? How does the devil sneak inside and deprive my spirit? Jesus said you would never leave it, so why is he being quiet while I died in snacks and unclean acts? Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love, because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I'm making my plea, Jesus, can you help me? I'm not perfect on the outside, I seem righteous, but inside I'm fighting the battle of my life. I need someone to focus on, a child of wife. I got too much time on my hands, it's all about me. I'm free to do what I want, whatever I feel, with no repercussions. I get bored, my flesh and face start struggling. I get lonely, the followers at the church don't help. I'm around 100 people, but I'm still by myself, so it's easy to lower myself. I've been in the company of someone who threats my spiritual health. But Lord, you took my great grandma, my mother, bless their souls, and left me with no guidance in this cold, cruel world. The words of God, you snatched my baby girl just when I was starting to appreciate fatherhood. And you won't send anybody good who I can marry, who can carry a child for me. I refuse to be a single missionary in another country, alone in a nation I don't know. But deep down I feel that's where you want me to go. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love, because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. I don't understand my purpose. Can you enlighten me and bring to the surface what you have in store for me? I wonder, are you ignoring me, or is it the other way around? I know I'm stubborn, but your word says that a believer will from within change, and then that person won't want to sin, while I'm really willing and able, waiting for you to the table my sinful blessing is in you I trust, so do what you must. I give you full control of my soul. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love, because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger.
Back it up.
I give you full control of my soul. Oh Lord, you can table my sinful blessing is in you I trust, so do what you must. I give you full control of my soul. Oh Lord, I'm not worthy of your love, because your grace is the last thing I think of. I don't want to feel the wrath of your anger, but I keep stumbling into danger. Another hit from Rodero, the one man show. You feel that? Hope it touches you in some way. I'm out. Praise God. That was a gift. Trust you. Yeah, Rodero, the one man show. I mean, the light thing. Right. From the heart. You feel that? I got one question for you. Hallelujah. Amen. Are you born again? You never know when Jesus will descend on the white cloud. If you say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. Amen.
Hey.
Are you born again? Are you ready to love my fight into the simple book of life? Are you on the page that Jesus gave you by faith, not so by action? Will you be the satisfaction, not by action? I will God can't fix and God can't heal. Don't turn your back on this one somebody's time to live. If this man thinks to the sin, for God will forgive. If you're born again, amen, amen. Are you born again? You don't know what you do with the sin on the white cloud in your face. Say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Here we go. I get born again while you was late to sin. And I don't want to change the way. You want to change why you want to repent. When you know you say those things going on. Why you know I get my thoughts on them. You think God is not listening. Not where you get dirty and come to church. What do you think they're playing this song? I think you're going to think what I'm fooling everywhere else. The devil tempts you. God understands and you believe he'll offer his hand and help you get the results you need withholding what you want. Don't be deceived by taking talk. He's a liar. He will fill your desires and use it to lake on fire to go to hell. He doesn't want the Lord's discourse. So I think to every boy and girl, get close to God. Pray every nigga that Jesus help you change your ways. See, I believe, amen. That's how I know I'm born again. And I'm asking you, are you born again? You never know what Jesus was to sin on the right cloud. Say it loud, I'm proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Come on. No man can ever try to be perfect. Or we can try to attain or we can attain a certain level of right and wrong, a balance. The devil counts every day to lead us in the wrong way. God knows this, so I love you to this only son. So lean on Jesus. On this listen, he will help when you ever have. I will make you never to go God's wrath. Remember, don't make this worse to be close to him. God, you will take with gold. Not because of the Jesus, but because you all believe. Was willing to be tested. He felt comfort even under the world pressure. Still about God's love and protection. I'm just a messenger to him on what he said he will die. It's your choice. You want to be a sinner or you want to be a winner? I'm asking the question.
Are you born again?
You know what Jesus wanted to say on the white cloud is to say.
Say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again.
You want to
Be a sinner or a winner? I'm asking the question. Are you born again? You never know when Jesus was to send on the white cloud to save. Say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. Can I give a shout out to God? Can I get one for Jesus? You know we can't forget the Holy Spirit. Come on. Come on home and sit at God's throne. Or rot in hell with the devil. That's your choice.
You can ride hell with the devil. It's up to you. I can't make that decision for you. God loves you so much. He won't make that decision for you.
Are you born again? You never know when Jesus will descend on the white cloud to say it loud, say it proud. I'm born again. I'm born again. You want to be a sinner or you want to be a winner?
Try to get them on the right path.
You want to be a sinner or you want to be a winner?
Not by works. Just by faith, not by works. Believe in Jesus. Try to live like him. You'll be all right. Go there, bro. I'm out. I don't think so.
Alrighty, y'all. Alrighty. Welcome to the show. We're a little late today, but we was live. We're a little late with the sermon, but we were live. I did a show early this morning, and not many people came out, and I was going to do another little short show, and we wound up going for hours. So my apologies, but it was a great show, and I know I learned a lot. And usually as someone who teaches, it's nice to learn. That's why I love live streaming. That's why I love having people in the chat. Our topic for today is a very unique one, because most ministers won't touch this. But I will today, because they want you to feel good about yourself. And so what we're going to talk about today is going to make you look at yourself. Because we're going to compare people of today with people back in the Bible. Now, what's different is these people had God with them. It was really Jesus in the cloud, but we'll say God, because Jesus is God. And you'll see the people, they had him with them. They were his chosen people. And what did they do? Moan and groan. What do the people of today do? They moan and groan. So the moaning and groaning is not new. The difference is, with God with them, the people were still moaning and groaning. So now there is no God standing over you. How much more moaning and groaning do you do? I'm asking you. These people had God with them, doing miracles before them, and they still couldn't do what they were supposed to do. How much more is it satisfying for God and Jesus to know that anybody who makes it to the next level, they had to do it on faith. They had to do it not by sight, because they were there with them. They were holding their hand. And the people still kept messing up, even with them there. So how much greater is it than one of us who've never seen Jesus or God in the flesh? Imagine how joyous it's going to be when we, without sight, but just faith, we believe, we maintain the connection with somebody. I mean, think about it. The Israelites were so afraid when God spoke, they asked him to pass the messages along to Moses. Come on, man. That's some gall. You gonna tell God, we don't want to hear you speak anymore. We don't want to hear from you. Naya says she's listening. Be right back driving. I want y'all to marinate for a second. You are the chosen people, just let out of Egypt. You just went through the miracle of the parting of the sea. Because I can tell you, when them chariots started coming, the people, even though they know all the signs, they know about God killing the firstborn of every Israelite, they came out and camped against the sea. They look up and they see all these chariots coming. Instead of the people saying, Moses, the Israelites are coming, what are you going to do? Instead, no, you brought us out here in the desert, out here in the heat, just to get slaughtered. We could have stayed back there. We could have stayed back there, and we could be having some daggone meat, and we could be having some fruits and vegetables, and yeah, we had to make some daggone straw to make bricks, but God darn it, you have brought us out here against the daggone river here. We can't even run nowhere. You got us out here trapped. Doggone you, Moses. We kill ourselves, but they about to kill us. Blah, blah, blah. You brought us out here to die. You should have stayed where you was in Midian. Would you come back here and bother us for? People that had God with them. So Moses prayed to God, and a wall of fire came and held back the Egyptians. They still complain, how long is that going to last? They're going to go around. part of the Red Sea. I'm not going down there to drown. You rather stay here and break these tracks? Oh, well, okay, come on. They get to the other side. Oh, no, the Egyptians are behind us. Oh, we still going to die. Oh, no, no, no. The water come in as soon as the last Hebrew crosses over. The sea, the waters return, and they drown all the soldiers. How long before you think people start complaining again? They saw this great miracle, and they moaned and groaned the whole time. God is getting a little ticked off with them. Like, you can't make these people happy. And they get to the point that God don't want them. But he made the oath. But he don't want these people anymore. That's how bad it got. But he kept his word. But man, these daggone people are crazy. I understand the free will, but darn, the selfishness, but darn. We brought them out of slavery, and they moaning. It's like we pulling teeth. Like we gotta drag them out of slavery. And it don't stop. All the way up to when he give them the land of milk and honey. Even though they got God with them, they say we want our own king. They got the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, there with them. They don't want them around. Why don't they want them around? Because they can't, the same way you don't want the police around. The same way if you in school, you don't want the principal around. You don't want the authority figure around to see you doing the dirt. Not realizing that he can see you anyway. So what difference did it make? Not realizing that he can see you anyway. You can't hide. Seriously. But that shows you how selfish and ignorant people are. We're going to look at some of these scriptures, and I hope that y'all would like to talk about it. Let me check my chat real quick. How you doing, Liz? How you doing, Naya? So, all right, y'all, let's get to it. The Israelites complained. One day the Israelites started complaining about their troubles. The Lord heard them and became so angry that he destroyed the outer edges of that camp with fire. When the people begged Moses for help, he prayed and the fire went out. They named the place Burning because in his anger the Lord had set the camp on fire. The people grumbled about being hungry. One day some worthless foreigners among the Israelites became greedy for food. And even the Israelites themselves began moaning. We don't have any meat. In Egypt, we can eat all the fish we wanted. And there were cucumbers, melons, onions, and garlic. But we're starving out here, and the only food we have is this manna. The manna was like small whitish seeds, and tasted like something baked with sweet olive oil. It appeared at night with the dew. In the morning, the people would collect the manna, grind it or crush it in a flour, then boil it and make it into thin wafers. The Israelites stood around their tents complaining. Moses heard them and was upset that they had made the Lord angry. He prayed, I am your servant, Lord, so why are you doing this to me? What have I done to deserve this? You made me responsible for all these people, but they're not my children. You told me to nurse them along and carry them to the land you promised their ancestors. They keep on whining for meat, but where can I get meat for them? This job is too much for me. How can I take care of all these people by myself? Is this the way you're going to treat me? Just kill me now and end my miserable life. This is Moses talking to the Lord. 70 leaders are chosen to help Moses. So the Lord said to Moses, choose 70 of Israel's respected leaders and go with them to the sacred tent. While I am talking with you there, I will give them some of your authority so they can share responsibility for my people. You will no longer have to care for them by yourself. As for the Israelites, I've heard them complaining about not having meat and being better off in Egypt. So tell them to make themselves acceptable to me, because tomorrow they will have meat. In fact, they will have meat day after day for a whole month, not just a few days or even 10 or 20. They turned against me and wanted to return to Egypt. Now they will eat meat until they get sick of it. Alrighty now. They ain't got on God's nerves. I think that God forgets sometimes that, we only got 80 years down here or less. 80 years ain't even but a wink to him. The same way some YouTubers can barely do a half an hour stream, and we've done 24-hour streams. So let's get back here. Moses replied, at least 600,000 grown men are here with me. How can you say there will be enough meat to feed them and their families for a whole month? Even if we butchered all of our sheep and cattle or caught every fish in the sea, we wouldn't have enough to feed him. The Lord answered him, I can do anything. Watch and you'll see my words come true. Moses told the people what the Lord had said. Then he chose 70 respected leaders and went with them to the sacred tent. While the leaders stood in a circle around the tent, Moses went inside, and the Lord spoke with him. Then the Lord took some authority from Moses and gave it to the 70 leaders. And when the Lord's Spirit took control of them, they started shouting like prophets, but they only did it this one time. Eldad and Medad were two leaders who had not gone to the tent, but when the Spirit took control of them, they began shouting like prophets right there in camp. A boy ran to Moses and told him about Eldad and Medad. Joshua, who was there helping Moses, and he had done since he was young, and he said to Moses, Sir, you must stop them. But Moses replied, Are you concerned what this might do to me? I wish the Lord would give his Spirit to all his people, so everyone could be a prophet. Then Moses and the 70 leaders went back to camp. Sometime later, the Lord sent a strong wind that blew quails in from the sea until Israel's camp was completely surrounded with birds, piled up about 3 feet high for miles in every direction. The people picked up quails for 2 days. Each person filled at least 50 bushels. Then they spread them out to dry. But before the meat could be eaten, the Lord became angry and sent a disease to the camp. After they had buried the people who had been so greedy for meat, they called the place graves for the greedy. Midian and Aaron are jealous of Moses. Although Moses was the most humble person in the world, Midian and Aaron started complaining. Moses had no right to marry that woman from Ethiopia. Who does he think he is? The Lord has spoken to us, not just him. The Lord heard their complaint and told Moses, Aaron, and Miriam to come to the entrance of the sacred tent. There the Lord appeared in the cloud and told Aaron and Miriam to come closer. Then after commanding them to listen carefully, he said, I, the Lord, speak to prophets in visions and dreams. But my servant Moses is the leader of my people. He sees me face to face, and everything I say to him is perfectly clear. You have no right to criticize my servant Moses. The Lord became angry at Aaron and Miriam, and after the Lord left and the cloud disappeared from over the sacred tent, Miriam's skin turned white with leprosy. When Aaron saw what had happened to her, he said to Moses, Sir, please don't punish us for doing such a foolish thing. Don't let Miriam's flesh rot away like a child born dead. Moses prayed, Lord God, please heal her. But the Lord replied, Miriam would be disgraced for 7 days if her father had punished her by spitting in her face. So make her stay outside the camp for 7 days before coming back. The people of Israel did not move their camp until Miriam returned 7 days later. Then they left Hazeroth and set up camp in the Paran desert. These people trying to lure the desert boy. They trying them. Where have I been? This is my third time going live today to drive. Where you been, sir? This is my third time today going live. Let us continue. 12 men are sent into Canaan. The Lord said to Moses, choose a leader from each tribe and send them into Canaan to explore the land I'm giving you. So Moses sent 12 tribal leaders from Israel's camp in the Paran desert with orders to explore the land of Canaan. All right, we can skip that. I don't need no names. Because we focusing on the people. Look at this fruit. The land we explored is rich with milk and honey. But the people who live there are strong, and their cities are large and walled. We even saw the 3 Anakim clans. Besides that, the Amalekites live in the southern desert. The Hittites, Jebusites, and the Amorites are in the hill country, and the Canaanites live along the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River. Caleb calmed down the crowd and said, let's go take the land. I know we can do it. But the other replied, those people are too strong. They're much too strong for us. Then they started spreading rumors and saying, we won't be able to grow anything in that soil. And the people are like giants. In fact, we saw the Nephilim, who are the ancestors of the Anakim. They were so big we felt small as grasshoppers. The Israelites rebelled against Moses. After the Israelites heard the report from the 12 men who had explored Canaan, the people cried all night and complained to Moses and Aaron. We wish we had died in Egypt or somewhere out there in the desert. Is the Lord leading us into Canaan, just to have us killed and our women and children captured? We'd be better off in Egypt. Then they said to one another, let's choose our own leader and go back. Moses and Aaron bowed down to pray in front of the crowd. Joshua and Caleb tore their clothes in sorrow. Now, here are the people again, talking about going back to Egypt. Really? All the things that been done for you, you still don't believe. And you got them with you. You seeing all these miracles with your own eyes. We have to imagine it. You saw it. And you still can't wait to go run back to Dagon. I don't understand. They can't wait to go back. I'm sorry you're not getting the locations, driver. Are you sure you ringing the bell? Moses and Aaron bowed down to pray in front of the crowd. Joshua and Caleb tore their clothes in sorrow and said, "We saw the land ourselves, and it's very good. If we obey the Lord, he will surely give us that rich land, rich with milk and honey. So don't rebel. We have no reason to be afraid of the people who live there. The Lord is on our side, and they won't stand a chance against us." The crowd threatened to stone Moses and Aaron to death. But just then, the Lord appeared in a cloud at the sacred tent. The people was going to stone Moses and Aaron. Are you serious? The Lord said to Moses, "I have done great things for these people, and they still reject me by refusing to believe in my power. So they will no longer be my people. I will destroy them, but I will make the ancestor of a nation even stronger than theirs. I'll make you the ancestor of a nation even stronger than theirs." Moses replied, "With your mighty power, you rescued your people from Egypt. So please don't destroy us here in the desert. If you do, the Egyptians will hear about it and tell the people of Canaan. Those Canaanites already know that we are your people and that we see you face to face, and they have heard now how you lead us with a thick cloud during the day and flaming fire at night. But if you kill us, they will claim it was because you weren't powerful enough to lead us into Canaan as you promised. Show us your great power, Lord. You promised that you love to show mercy and kindness, and you said that you were very patient, but that you will punish everyone guilty of doing wrong, not only them, but their children and grandchildren as well. You are merciful, and you treat people better than they deserve. So please forgive these people, just as you have forgiven them ever since they left Egypt." That's rough right there. That's rough right there. The Lord said to Moses, "In answer to your prayer, I do forgive them. But as surely as I live, and my power has no limit, I swear that not one of these Israelites will enter the land I promised to give to their ancestors. These people have seen my power in Egypt and in the desert, but they will never see Canaan. They have disobeyed and tested me too many times. But my servant Caleb isn't like the others. So because he has faith in me, I will allow him to cross into Canaan, and his descendants will settle there. Now listen, Moses, the Amalekites and the Canaanites live in the valleys of Canaan, and tomorrow morning you need to turn around and head back into the desert toward the Red Sea." The Israelites are punished for complaining. The Lord told Moses and Aaron to give this message to the people of Israel. "You sinful people have complained against me too many times. Now I swear by my own life that I will give you exactly what you wanted. You will die right here in the desert, and your dead bodies will cover the ground. You have insulted me, and none of you men who are over 20 years old will enter the land I solemnly promised to give you as your own. Only Caleb and Joshua will go in. You were worried that your children will be captured, but I, the Lord, will enter the land you have rejected. I will let them into the land you have rejected. You will die here in the desert. Your children will wander around in the desert 40 years, suffering because of your sins until all of you are dead. I will cruelly punish you every day for the next 40 years, 1 year for each day that the land was explored. You sinful people who ganged up against me will die here in the desert." 10 of the men sent to explore the land had come back bad news and had made the people complain against the Lord. So he sent a deadly disease that killed those men, but he let Joshua and Caleb live. The people of Israel were very sad after Moses gave them the Lord's message. So they got up early the next morning and got ready to head toward the hill country of Canaan. They said, "We were wrong to complain about the Lord. Let's go into the land that he promised us." Oh, don't try it now. Oh, no. Before you said, "Oh, he trying to get us killed." Hold up. Yes, sir. Driver said this is the first one. I don't know what YouTube problem is. I don't know, you were the driver. But listen to these people. They talking about stoning Moses and Aaron. Then the Lord comes and say, guess what? You ain't going to the land of milk and honey. Turn around and head back to the Red Sea. You're going to sit out here in the desert for 40 years. I'm going to make sure each one of you over the age of 20 die. Whew. Now all of a sudden, they talking about they ready to go fight. Nah. Don't do it now. This is what I'm saying. They were given instructions on what was going to happen. Did they listen? Nope. They got up early the next morning and got ready to head toward the hill country of Canaan. They said, we were wrong to complain about the Lord. Let's go into the land that he promised us. He said he ain't going. See, they hear what they want to hear. So they said, let's go into the land he promised us. Moses replied, you're disobeying the Lord. Your plan won't work. Don't even try it. The Lord refuses to help you because you turn your backs on him. The Amalekites and the Canaanites are your enemies, and they will attack and defeat you. But the Israelites ignored Moses. What they did? The Israelites ignored Moses. God told them they're not going to enter the land. They ain't trying to hear that. We're going to go in there anyway. So let's see what happened to them when God told them they ain't going. So let's see what happened. But the Israelites ignored Moses and marched toward the hill country, even though the sacred chest and Moses did not go with them. The Amalekites and the Canaanites came down from the hill country, defeated the Israelites, and chased them as far as the town of Hormah. Somebody got their butt kicked. All right, these are laws and on our topic. A man put to death for gathering firewood on the Sabbath. Once while the Israelites were traveling through the desert, a man was caught gathering firewood on the Sabbath. He was taken to Moses, Aaron, and the rest of the community, but no one knew what to do with him, so he was allowed to leave. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the people to take that man outside the camp and stone him to death. So he was killed, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. For those of y'all that think God is a punk, y'all find out real quick, he ain't. This man was gathering firewood on the Sabbath. This man was doing work. Yeah. The Lord had them stone a man for gathering work on the Sabbath. And y'all act like y'all don't believe me when I say a woman didn't get her cherry popped on her wedding night, that they would kill her. This man got killed for the firewood. Y'all wonder why Jesus was crucified for saying that he was the Son of God and that he was the King of Kings. They killed this man for gathering some daggone firewood. Stoned him to death. I'm telling you, the laws we got today too soft. We bring these laws back. Whole lot of stuff gonna stop. Seriously, we've gotten soft. So, for those of you who read the gospel and you don't understand why the priests are so angry at Jesus for healing people on the Sabbath, you're not to do any kind of work at all. Anything. Gathering wood, mow your lawn. You ain't supposed to do nothing but relax on the Sabbath. You go to this church, and that's it. You don't even tend to your animals. You just chill. Killed a man for getting some firewood. That's rough right there. Now, this is something that everybody's supposed to do, and nobody does it, but it's one of the laws. The Lord told Moses, say to the people of Israel, sew tassels onto the bottom edge of your clothes and tie a purple string to each tassel. These will remind you that you must obey my laws and teachings, and when you do, you will be dedicated to me and won't follow your own sinful desires. I am the Lord your God who led you out of Egypt. So y'all know we're supposed to have tassels on the bottom edge of our clothes and tie a purple string to each tassel. So when you see people walking around, you laugh at them and got the tassels on, they doing what God told them to do. Korah, son of Izhar, was a Levite from the Kohathite clan. One day he called together Dathan, Abiram, and On from the Reuben tribe, and the four of them decided to rebel against Moses. So they asked 250 respected Israelite leaders for their support. And together they went to Moses and Aaron and said, why do you think you're so much better than anyone else? We're part of the Lord's holy people, and he's with all of us. What makes you think you're the ones in charge? When Moses heard this, he knelt down to pray. Then he said to Korah and his followers, tomorrow morning the Lord will show us the person he's chosen to be his priest, and that man will faithfully serve him. Korah, now here's what you and your followers must do. Get some fire pans, fill them with coals and incense, and place them near the sacred tent. And the man the Lord chooses will be his prince. Korah, this time you Levites have gone too far. You know the God of Israel has chosen you Levites from all Israel to serve him by being in charge of the sacred tent and by helping the community to worship in the proper way. What more do you want? The Lord has given you special responsibility, and now, Korah, you think you should also be his priest. You and your followers have rebelled against the Lord, not against Aaron. Then Moses sent for Dathan and Abiram. They sent this message back. We ain't coming. He says, bad enough you took us from our rich farmland in Egypt. So let us die here in the desert. Now you also want to boss us around. You keep promising us rich farmlands with fertile fields and vineyards. But where are they? Stop trying to trick these people. We won't come to see you. Moses was very angry and said to the Lord, don't listen to these men. I haven't done anything wrong to them. I haven't taken as much as a donkey. Then he said to Korah, tomorrow you and your followers must go with Aaron to the Lord's sacred tent. Each of you take along your fire pan with incense in it and offer the incense to the Lord. The next day the men placed the incense and coals in their fire pans and stood with Moses and Aaron at the entrance to the sacred tent. Meanwhile, Korah had convinced the rest of the Israelites to rebel against their two leaders. When that happened, the Lord appeared in all his glory and said to Moses and Aaron, "Get away from the rest of the Israelites so I can kill them right now." But the two men bowed and prayed, "Our God, you gave these people lives. Why would you punish everyone here when only one man has sinned?" The Lord answered Moses, "Tell the people to stay away from the tents of Koram, Dotham, and Abiram." Then Moses walked over to Dathan and Abiram, and other leaders of Israel followed. Then Moses warned the people, "Get away from the tents of these sinful men. Don't touch anything that belongs to them or you'll be wiped out." So everyone moved away from those tents except Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and their families. Moses said to the crowd, "The Lord has chosen me and told me to do these things. It wasn't my idea, and here's how you will know it. If these men die natural death, it means the Lord hasn't chosen me. But suppose the Lord does something that's never been done before. For example, what if a huge crack appears in the ground, and these men and their families fall into it and burn alive, together with everything they own? Then you will know they have turned their backs on the Lord." As soon as Moses said this, the ground under the men opened up and swallowed them alive, together with their families and everything they owned. Then the ground closed back up, and they were gone. The rest of the Israelites heard that scream, so they ran off shouting, "We don't want this to happen to us." Suddenly the Lord sent a fire that burned up the 250 men who had offered incense to him. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron's son Eleazar to take the 5 pans from the smoldering fire and scatter the coals. The pans are now sacred because they have been used for offering incense to me. Have them hammered into a thin layer of bronze as a covering for the altar." Those men died because of their sin, and now their 5 pans will become a warning to the rest of the community. Eleazar collected the pans and had them hammered into a thin layer of bronze as converting for the altar, just as the Lord had told Moses. The pans were a warning to the Israelites that only Aaron's descendants will be allowed to offer incense to the Lord. Anyone else who tried will be punished like Korah and his fathers. This is ridiculous. Are you serious? You gotta be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. After this, the very next day, the people of Israel again complained against Moses and Aaron. "The two of you killed some of the Lord's people." As the people crowded around them, Moses and Aaron turned toward the sacred tent, and the Lord appeared in his glory, in the cloud covering the tent. So Moses and Aaron walked to the front of the tent, where the Lord said, "Stand back, I'm going to wipe out these Israelites once and for all." They immediately bowed and prayed. Then Moses told Aaron, "Grab your fire pan and fill it with hot coals from the altar. Put incense in it. Then quickly take it to where the people are and offer it to the Lord so they can be forgiven. The Lord is very angry, and the people have already started dying." Aaron did exactly what he had been told. He ran over to the crowd of people and stood between the dead bodies and the people that were still alive. He placed the incense on the pan, then offered it to the Lord and asked him to forgive the people's sin. The disease immediately started spreading and nobody else died from it. But 14,700 Israelites were dead, not counting those who had died with Korah and his followers. Aaron walked back and stood with Moses at the sacred tent. Aaron's walking stick blooms and produces almond. The Lord told Moses, "Call together the 12 tribes of Israel and tell the leader of each tribe to write his name on a walking stick he carries as a symbol of his authority. Make sure Aaron's name is written on the one from the Levi tribe, then collect all the sticks. Place these sticks in a tent right in front of the sacred chest where I appear to you. I will then choose a man to be my priest, and his stick will sprout. After that happens, I won't have to listen to any more complaints about you. Moses told the people what the Lord had commanded, and they gave him the walking sticks from the 12 tribal leaders, including Aaron's from the Levi tribe. Moses took them and placed them in the Lord's sacred tent. The next day, when Moses went into the tent, flowers and almonds were already grown on Aaron's stick. Moses brought the 12 sticks out of the tent and showed them to the people. Each of the leaders found his own and took it. But the Lord told Moses, put Aaron's stick back. Let it stay near the sacred chest as a warning to anyone who might think about rebelling. If these people don't stop their grumbling about me, I will wipe them out. Moses did what he told. The Israelite cried to Moses, we're done and doomed if we even get near the sacred tent. So how come Adam and Eve couldn't listen? Yeah, right. We can skip this. Don't bore you to death. All right. The people from Israel arrived at the Zin Desert during the first month and set up camp near the town of Kadesh. It was there that Miriam died and was buried. The Israelites had no water, so they went to Moses and Aaron and complained, Moses, why they always... Moses, we'd be better off if we had died along with the others in front of the Lord's sacred tent. You brought us into this desert, and now we and our livestock are going to die. Egypt was better than this horrible place. At least there we had grain and figs and grapevines and pomegranates. But now we don't even have any water. Why they just couldn't say we ain't got no water? Tell the Lord we need some water. We ain't got to do all that other stuff. You know, same way when you hear somebody from the ghetto. Instead of them saying, you know, hey, something ain't right. Yeah, I'm going to bust you in your head. I'm going to do all this, you know. If you had done what you told me, yeah, just say what the problem is. That's why I said, if people haven't changed. Moses and Aaron went to the entrance to the sacred tent where they bowed down. The Lord appeared to them in all his glory and said, Moses, get your walking stick. Then you and Aaron call the people together and command the rock to give you water. That's how you will provide water for the people of Israel and their livestock. Moses obeyed and took his stick from the sacred tent. After he and Aaron had gathered the people around the rock, he said, look, you rebellious people, and you will see water flow from this rock. He raised the stick in the air and struck the rock 2 times. At once water gushed from the rock, and the people in their livestock had water to drink. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you refuse to believe in my power, these people do not respect me, and so you will not be the ones to lead them into the land I promise. The Israelites had complained against the Lord, and he had shown them his holy power by giving them water to drink. So they named the place Meribah, which means complaining. What is wrong with these people? Seriously, as we read, what is wrong with these people? Moses sent messengers from Israel camp near Kadesh with this message for the king of Edom. We are Israelites, your own relatives, and we're sure you have heard the terrible things that have happened to us. Our ancestors settled in Egypt and lived there a long time, but later the Egyptians were cruel to us, and when we begged our Lord for help, he answered our prayer and brought us out of the land. Now we are camped at the border of your territory near the town of Kadesh. Please let us go through your country. We won't go near your fields or vineyards. We won't drink any water from your wells. We will stay on the main road until we leave your territory. But the Edomite king said, no, I won't let you through our country, and if you try, we will attack you. Moses sent back this message: we promise to stay on the main road, and if any of us or our livestock drink your water, we will pay for it. We just want to pass through. But the Edomite king insisted, you can't go through our land. Then Edom sent out its strongest troops to keep Israel from passing through its territory. So the Israelites had to go in another direction. After the Israelites had left Kadesh and had gone as far as Mount Hor on the Edomite border, the Lord said, Aaron, this is where you will die. You and Moses disobeyed me at Meribah, and so you will not enter the land I promised the Israelites. Moses, go with Aaron and his son Eleazar to the top of the mountain, and take Aaron's priestly robe from him and place it on Eleazar. Aaron will die there. Moses obeyed, and everyone watched as he, Aaron, and Eleazar walked to the top of Mount Hor. Moses then took the priestly robe from Aaron and placed it on Eleazar. Aaron died there. Moses and Eleazar came down. The people knew that Aaron had died. They mourned his death for 30 days. The Canaanite king of Arad lived in the southern desert of Canaan, and when he heard the Israelites were on their way to the village of Atharim, he attacked and took some of them hostage. The Israelites prayed, O Lord, if you will help us defeat these Canaanites, we will completely destroy their towns and everything in them to show they belong to you. The Lord answered their prayer and helped them wipe out the Canaanite army and completely destroy their towns. That's why one of the towns is named Hormah, which means destroyed place. The Israelites had to go around the territory of Edom, so when they left Mount Hor, they headed south toward the Red Sea. But along the way, the people became so impatient that they complained against God and said to Moses, did you bring us out of Egypt just to let us die in the desert? There's no water out here. We can't stand this awful food. The Lord sent poisonous snakes that bit and killed many of them. Some of the people went to Moses and admitted, it's wrong of us to insult you and the Lord. Now please ask him to make these snakes go away. Moses prayed, and the Lord answered, make a snake out of bronze and place it on top of a pole. Anyone who gets bitten can look at the snake and won't die. Moses obeyed the Lord, and all those who looked at the bronze snake lived, even though they had been bitten by poisonous snakes. As the Israelites continued their journey to Canaan, they camped at Oboth, then at Abarim, in the desert east of Moab, and then in the Zareb Gorge. After that, they crossed the Arnon River and camped in the Moabite desert, bordering Amorite territory. Then Arnon was a border between the Moabites and the Amorites. A song in the book of the Lord's battles mentions the town of Wahab with its creeks and the territory of Suphah. It also mentions the Arnon River with its valleys that lie alongside the Moabite border and extend to the town of Ar. The Israelites sent this message to King Sihon of the Amorites. Please let us pass through your territory. We promise to stay away from your fields and vineyards. We won't drink any water from your wells. As long as we're in your land, we won't get off the main road. But Sihon refused to let Israel travel through his land. Instead, he called together his entire army and marched into the desert to attack Israel near the town of Jahaz. Israel defeated them and took over the Amorite territory for the Arnon River Gorge in the south to the Jabbok Gorge in the north. Beyond the Jabbok was the territory of the Ammonites, who were much stronger than Israel. The Israelites settled in the Amorite towns, including the capital city of Heshbon with its surrounding villages. King Sihon had ruled from Heshbon after defeating the Moabites and taking over their land north of the Arnon River Gorge. This is why another poem. skip that. All right. We're starting to get into them getting in the battle. I wanted to focus on them getting there. Okay, y'all. Let me back out because hopefully y'all are ready to talk. Because I want to talk. The important lesson that I want y'all to take from this is these people were blessed. They had God with them, doing things for them, and they forgot. You got God with you, and yet you are questioning, and you are, just come on, you are questioning and challenging him on everything. You moaning and groaning about the Egyptians slaving you, but yet every time it get a little tough, you turn on the person that freed you. And he's trying to get you to this land, and you fighting him every step of the way. You see great miracles done. Great miracles done. And yet, you forget. At one point, you had you had 3 men in that family. Actually, the ground swallowed them up and everything they owned. The very next day, you planning a coup so that y'all can sneak back to Egypt. Let that marinate for a second. Korah had got some people together, and they were going to kill Aaron and Moses, and they were going to lead the people back to Egypt. And them and all their families died. Lord was going to kill all of them. Moses and Aaron begged them not to. The very next day, the people are trying to kill Moses and Aaron and go back to Egypt the very next day. So you sat there and watched all them people die, and yet the very next day, you cried about not having no meat. Well, you got more than you can handle. You begging for them, take it away because it stink. And drawing flies. You sat there and complained and complained and complained. Lord said, you know what? Y'all gonna walk around the desert until everybody over the age of 20 is gonna die. And just think about them. They started at the Red Sea and wound up 40 years later back at the Red Sea. That's not punishment. What is it? But the people don't stop moaning and groaning. Every time something go wrong, they want to run back to Egypt. Every time something go wrong, they want to run back to Egypt. They see the powerful miracles. They there to see them. We're not there to see them. They are. They see the things that he's doing. We have to imagine it. We have to use our faith and believe. They were there. They saw it firsthand. And you want to tell me the next day they see somebody try to start a rebellion and the earth swallowed them and their whole families up and everything they own? And the very next day, they try and do it again. They sent some men to go check out the first land they was going to take. Some of the guys decided to lie and say that they couldn't handle them. It was just too many of them. They were too big and they were giants and all kinds of stuff. The people who sat there and watched the Lord destroy the Egyptian army with no help from them. They don't have faith. God is going to take them to a place so they can get slaughtered. That's what they were saying. They had no faith. How can you have him there with you performing these miracles and not have no faith? Listen to how many times God wanted to kill all of them. That's why he wound up abandoning them. You want to do what you want to do? Well, go ahead. Think you can handle the Babylonians? Go ahead. Think you can handle the Romans? Go ahead. And a lot of the teachers of that day had the prophecy wrong. They thought that Jesus was going to come and they was going to get back their land full of milk and honey. And they was going to rebuild the temple and rebuild their castles and have the king of Jordan and the king of Israel. You know, they really thought that they were going to do this. That's what the teachers were telling them. They were lying. So when Jesus came back, everybody got ready to go fight. Let's go fight, like our ancestors did back in the day. We about to team up with the Lord and we get ready to kick some butt. And Jesus is talking about eternal life and getting to know the Father and being nice to one another. Man, we ready to fight. And that's why Judas turned on him. Jesus was supposed to come. They was ready to fight. This was Egypt all over again. This time, shoot, I'm not taking you hard-headed people nowhere. We're going to sit right here. You dug this hole, dig yourself out. But I can tell you how to have eternal life. I can tell you how to live the correct way, but I'm not going to fight for you no more. Because as soon as we do, you forget it. I wouldn't keep fooling with you neither. But I'm a human being, but man, Lord was like, stand back, Moses, I'm going to kill them all. Boy, them people ain't straightened up, man, they crazy. But you got to wonder, there are people that know that you can go to jail for doing certain things. There are people that know that you can get on the death penalty for doing stupid things, but they still do it. And that is the trap of sin. Nothing good comes from sin. And once you let it rule your life, you are a slave to it. Everywhere their mouth is, we want to go back to Egypt. Why you bring us out here? And then when something happens to them, oh, please stop. Oh, we want to go back to Egypt. Lord said, you know what? Y'all ain't going to the land. Y'all going to walk around until these generations die off. Y'all going to walk around. So tomorrow, you're going to start heading back toward the Red Sea, where they started from. That's rough right there. The people get up the next morning, they like, man, we don't care what God said. Shoot, we're going to go in here and fight. They didn't take none of the things that the priest supposed to bring for them to go fight. They gonna go do it. They ain't done nothing the whole time they been out of Egypt. But they gonna do something. And they gonna get their butts kicked. And if I was Moses and Aaron, I'd laugh my tail off. I'd have been dancing on the inside. That's what you get, you hard-headed, stiff-necked people. You want to do what you want to do, go ahead and get killed. They thought all that junk went in there and they started running. I mean, they ran too. Lord, help us, Lord. He's like, no, you want. I told you to head back to the Red Sea. The heck I'm gonna help you for? You doing that on your own. What you call my name for? You won't do what I tell you to do. What the heck I should help you for? You won't do nothing I tell you to do. Why should I help you? You had me down here walking with you. You don't want me to talk to you. I gotta talk to Moses. That he gotta say what I say. I can't even talk to my own people. And then when you get them the land of milk and honey, they want to make their own king. I'm the king. No, we want to have a king like the other people around us, the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Amorites. We want to have a king too. You got a king. It's me. We want our own king. You see the constant disrespect that these spoiled Israelites shown. The problem wasn't God. The problem was the people wasn't mature enough. They weren't mature enough. They had it all. I don't know what to do with it. They literally had it all. And didn't know what to do with it. So when you wonder why God switched the plan up and said, instead of having a paradise down here on earth, you're going to survive down here on earth. And your reward, which is something that you could have just gotten for nothing, now you got to earn it. You got to earn it, and you got to prove to us that you're worthy to continue on. And he gave you a tool. He gave you some help. The greatest help he could have gave you. Himself. All you got to do is come to Jesus. Because before he came and got the Israelites, he ain't coming no more. You got to make the first move. You got to make the first move. You got to make the first contact. They're going to leave you alone. And after what we read, I can't blame them. People complain about anything. And the first thing they got to say, you brought us out here to kill us. We was better off in Egypt. We was better off with no God. That is what they kept saying over and over and over again. Which means they had no faith in the God, even though they saw him do miracles. They had no love for God, even though they know what he did for them. So imagine what it's like today for people who didn't see anything. You wonder why the world is the way it is today? You wonder why there's really no hope? Do y'all wonder these things? I don't. Because I see it. I seen it back then. It's in the Bible. You know? Anybody have any questions or comments? The driver says people are not that strong these days. Well, they weren't strong back then. The next time we do religion, I'm going to try to pull verses out of every time the people turned against God. And it's a lot of them. We just touched the tip of the iceberg. I think for Bible study, we should go into Kings. We should go check out Kings and just see how the people still keep trying to get over on God. Like they smarter than God. Like they better than God. Like God can't see them. And they got them right there. That's why when they say that Jesus is going to teach those who never knew God, who behavior was good enough to go, like maybe a Job, who didn't have a connection with God, but there will be a second chance for those people, and Jesus will come down. But see, he came down before, and look what they did to him. But Jesus is going to come again. He's going to rule for 1,000 years. The Antichrist and the false beast is going to be thrown into the lake of fire. The devil is going to be locked up and chained up for 1,000 years. And Jesus is going to come down and teach the people. And yet, a third of them are still going to go side with the devil. So you tell me, the people were there and they seen everything. Whew. So Jesus was with them then. Gave them the laws and everything. And a third of them people are still going to side with the devil and fight against Jesus the second time. Even though he kicked the devil butt the first time, they still gonna go line up. I just don't understand. What's wrong with people? Seriously, y'all. What's wrong with people? Whew. I don't get it. But I just wanted y'all to see that the times we living in right now, they weren't as bad back then, but the behavior of the people was still the same. We are selfish, we are sinners, and we need to look within ourselves to say, hey, do I want to be like this, or do I actually want a relationship with God? Do I actually want? See, because people get comfortable. You remember that old saying, sometimes you need to beat a child once a week to keep them in line because they forget the butt whooping. And as soon as something fun come up, even though they ain't supposed to do it, they're going to do it anyway and be like, hey, just beat me. You a father and you got a beautiful young lady and she keeps sneaking out the house or keep letting these boys come in her room after you and the wife retire for the night. So you decide you gonna board the window up, and then she go down and she calls CFS, and CFS make you take down the board blocking the window so the boys can come in and out. All right. Anybody else have any questions? I've been up all night. I'm going to go take me a nap. Anybody have any questions on what we talked about today? Anybody have any opinions they want to give? Alrighty then, y'all. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all whenever I wake up. I'll come live. Y'all have a great night. Great evening, I'm sorry. It's afternoon. Peace, everybody.